Hi, I'm JD and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about creating space for my writing in my life through using a couple of different tools that I have found to be the most helpful in my day-to-day life. Things like decluttering, meditation, and a planning method that you've seen here on my channel before, the HB90 method. So let's just dive right in. Now, the dogs are kind of loud today, but so hopefully you won't hear them in the background, but if you do, you know what, it's just my dogs. So, but lately things have been just chaotic in my life, and I feel like that's kind of the general theme all around. Everyone I've talked to is just like busy, 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 always on the go. And it's just been hard lately with everything, I guess, post-pandemic or, in the end stages of this pandemic. And it's just been really challenging to make time and space in my life for my writing, and not just with everything that's going on with out in the world, but with kids getting out of school, with my health challenges right now, just making sure that I am getting through each day and checking off each list that I have for all my different priorities. It's just a lot. So I wanted to talk today about what I'm doing to get through all these challenges and these tools that I'm using to maximize my time and to kind of make things a little easier for myself. And knock on wood, they seem to be working right now. And hopefully I'm not jinxing this by making this video, but I wanted to just share what I'm doing. So the first thing is decluttering and getting my house organized. This has been a lifesaver, and I don't know what exactly has tipped this into my favor, because I have been trying to declutter and organize lately for the past few years even. And I've tried things like following a couple of different YouTubers here on the YouTube channel, the Minimalist Mom, the Organized, I think it's a Slob Comes Clean. There's another one who uses, like, I don't remember her name, but different minimalist channels and stuff like that. I have been following them. I've tried the minimalist game. I have tried the Take Back Your Home course. I'll just watch cleaning videos on YouTube and on Instagram and TikTok, and usually that motivates me to clean a little bit. But I'm not sure what's happened, but in the last month or two, things have like tipped. So I would try in the past all these different systems, and I might make progress in one area, but then while I'm working on the next area, that previous area is just a disaster again. And I think part of that was just having kids at a young stage, and now for the most part I can get my kids to pick up after themselves a little bit. Of course, with a lot of pushback and moms, those long drawn out, but mom, in between. But for the most part, a lot of times now when I clean an area, it will actually stay kind of clean until I get back to it, or while I clean the next area. So in the last few weeks, I've been putting a lot of effort into decluttering some different parts of my house, mostly the downstairs, and they've actually stayed decluttered, and it's working. And I'm like, whoa. But the reason why I bring up decluttering is because not only is it making space, like literal space in my house where I can plop down on the couch without having to move a bunch of laundry or blankets that the kids have left out, or, you know, sitting on a dog that's hiding in a blanket. I am creating time because I find myself spending a lot less time cleaning. When I've decluttered areas and they stay decluttered, one, I'm not having to pick up clutter and move it and organize it all over again. And two, when it comes time to clean and like wipe things down, I'm not having to move clutter to then get to the cleaning part. I can just pick up my vacuum and vacuum the carpet and be done, instead of having to clear and tidy the carpet before getting the vacuum out and tidying it. So I'm creating, by having the house kind of organized and clean, or like organized, my cleaning time is cut in half. And then, so now I can spend more time writing or working on admin stuff or social media stuff to then create more content and write stuff. So I am finding that I'm creating more time by having the house decluttered and having less stuff to manage in my day-to-day life. Now, the second thing that I have found very helpful in creating space for my writing life has been meditation. And this is because meditation has created space in my mind for my stories, and has just really helped kind of get me in a better mindset when it comes to dealing with just regular daily life stresses, for dealing with my anxiety and depression and neurodivergence, almost, I guess. I found that meditation has helped me just kind of settle into this better routine of having more energy and mental focus. So that way, when I do finally get a chance to sit down and write, I can jump right into my work without having to take an extra 20 to 30 minutes to kind of regulate myself and my emotions and then focus into my work. So that way I'm able to start right away when I have a moment to sit down versus having to take that extra time. So meditation has been something I have been trying off and on for a long time, but didn't really start to take it seriously until about 2 years ago. I first started with using the app Headspace and Insight Timer. I also tried some guided meditations I would find on like YouTube and stuff. But then as I read into it, and I read another book, which I can't remember off the top of my head, so I'm just gonna put the cover here, on Audible. This book really changed how I looked at meditation, and it really made meditation more accessible to me, because a lot of times I can't always sit down and do a seated meditation right then. And in fact, a lot of times I find myself, when I can't just sit down and do a seated meditation every day, it's just not possible for me. But what this book did was it let me look at meditation in a different light and recognize that there are different forms of meditation. And so a lot of times I will go and do a walking meditation out in the neighborhood, or I will practice mindfulness in doing the chores around the house. When I'm decluttering, I'm focusing right then on that one task without thinking about anything else. And being able to take those deep breaths and clear my mind really helps, has really helped so much. And so if you've tried meditation in the past and you find that you've struggled with seated meditation and the whole, oh, I gotta sit down and just think of nothing, but I can't think of nothing. I feel like there's this misconception that you just have no thoughts while you meditate, and that is the end goal, is to just sit down and not think at all for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour. It's no. Meditation is being able to not necessarily get rid of all the thoughts. That's not the goal of meditation. Meditation's goal is to be able to think about, you're sitting there and you're meditating and a thought comes up. It's like not following that train of thought. It's like, oh, yeah, okay, I hear the dog barking out next door. Okay, it's barking. Don't need to worry about it right now. Breathing, focus in on my breathing again. Oh, there's that bird again. Or the kids are too loud out in the yard. Breathing. I'm breathing right now. I'm breathing right now. Oh, there goes that truck. It's always so loud on the road. I'm breathing right now. It's recognizing and letting those thoughts go and coming back to your breath constantly. That's the goal of meditation. It's to be able to practice stopping those trains of thoughts. So it's like when you recognize that you're thinking a thought, instead of, you want to stop it and come back to your breath. Stop it and come back to your breath. And some days you can focus solely on your breath, and some days your brain just goes and goes and goes, and you're constantly having to reorient yourself. And even now, after practicing so long, there are days where I'm just like constantly coming back to myself and refocusing. But that's just part of the challenge and part of the journey. So if you've ever thought about meditation, or you tried it and you really felt it wasn't for you, that you were too fidgety, look into different types of meditation, and maybe try walking meditation, where you're focusing on each step. Instead of focusing on your breathing, you focus on letting go of your thoughts and focusing on your walking and the way your feet feel when they hit the pavement, and counting your steps, even if that helps. So yeah, try those different types of meditation and see if that helps instead. The last thing that is helping me get organized and creating space for my writing goals this year is getting back into using the HB90 method to organize my goals and figure out what I am doing. So I first started using this method when it came out in 2018. It is by Sarah Cannon with her company Heart Breathings. And this method, when I say it's life-changing, it's life-changing. Life-changing, literally. There's so many people who have taken this course by now. And almost everyone has said the same thing, life-changing. Everyone uses the method slightly differently and tailors it to work for them. It's really great for writers, but but it will work for any sort of creative entrepreneur or anyone who has goals. I've even heard of some hardies, as we like to call ourselves, in the Heart Breathings writing community, teaching this system to their children and having their children use it to help them organize their goals. And it has just been such a blessing to have. So if you look back through my video history, you'll probably see some videos of me talking about heart breathings and the HB90 method. Some plan with me's where I've used the HB90 method to plan my weeks. So I won't get too deep into it, but basically each quarter you take some time out towards the end of the quarter to plan your next quarter. And you look at things that some other planning systems won't necessarily look at. So with HB90, you first decide what your goals are. To decide your goals, you have to know what your vision is for the future. So you do this vision boarding process. You figure out what your goals are. Once you figure out your goals, you figure out your projects. And to figure out your projects, you got to figure out how much time you actually have during the quarter. So you sit down with calendars, you block off any holidays or vacations, things, you block off those days that you know you're not going to work on, whether they be weekends, the holidays, whatnot. And then you count out the remaining days, and that's how much time you've got to work on these projects. Then, once you've figured out how much time you actually have during the quarter, then you can figure out which projects you can do that'll help move you towards those goals in the best way possible. And then once you figure out your projects, you figure out your tasks, and you set up a Kanban board where you're moving Post-it notes, or you use Trello to figure out which tasks you need to do each day on a weekly basis to hit those goal markers by the end of the quarter. And then at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, you can look at what you've been able to accomplish, what still needs to get done, make some revisions to your process, and kind of refine it as you go. And so being able to do this is it's life-changing. Like I said, it's been so formative in the way I have been working on getting my plans done for years, literally. Now, in the past year or so, I have not been using the HB90 method as much because I've been solely focused on my health. I've been writing some still, but I have not made it a huge priority. My biggest priority was getting my health back to a point where I could, function in a day-to-day life. And I feel like I'm kind of back to that point. I'm not spending a lot of days in bed versus, the weeks in bed that I would have beforehand. So even though I, still deal with some challenges to my health and a lot of medical appointments and therapies, I am back to a point where I am ready to start planning again. So to do so, and to kind of get myself back into the mood and reorient myself in the method, I am going to be taking the HB90 course. If you guys would like to join me, I will have an affiliate link down below. But this course is it's just amazing. It's also lifetime access. So as the course gets updated, you can come back and watch it again and again. So I have taken this course, like I said, I took it back in 2018, and I've taken it a couple of times since then. So I think this is like the third or fourth time I've taken it to reorient myself in the method, and how it's been updated. But I'm excited to take it again this month and to get really get back into it. It's a week-long course. It takes you step by step through the free planner that comes with it and how it all works. Anyway, so that's all I had today. That's how I'm creating space in my life for more writing. I hope to have a book finished by the end of September, fingers crossed. But I'm going to be using the HB90 method to help me organize my time to get to that point. So fingers crossed. So anyway, let me know in the comments below if you guys have done the HB90 method or what you're using to kind of organize your time and thoughts to create more space in your life for more writing time. I would love to hear your answers. I'm always interested in trying new time hacks and figuring out what works best for everybody. But otherwise, I will catch you guys next time. And yeah, peace, love, and happy writing, y'all.